We're going to do a little meditation on emptiness today. It's a very simple one, but it's long, so I'm going to get started. All right, so let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Have both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. And just feel the weight of your feet in the floor, your hips and pelvis in your chair, and your hands in your lap. And just align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders, and just lengthen your spine. Just imagine it's a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just lengthen your spine. And then just go to the crown there and just release any tension there. Just relax your head and your face. Release any tension in your face. Relax your throat and chest and belly and all of your limbs. Just to help you anchor your concentration, just focus for a moment on your breath. Notice the sensations of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Any sounds that come to your ears, just allow them to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And just any thoughts that arise, try not to judge, criticize, have opinions. See if you can stay a little bit separate from them, objectively looking at them, watching. So this idea of emptiness, it always sounds, pretty esoteric, pretty abstract. It comes fairly late on in the Lam Rim text, so it's considered a fairly advanced practice. So it sounds like very lofty, but in fact it's really quite practical, and it's also very relevant to our lives. So the first step towards understanding this concept of emptiness is to try and get an idea of what we actually think exists. So we have this idea of this I am, my name is, I am feeling, I am eating. So we sort of think, for example, we try and locate this I that we believe so strongly in. And then through this analytical meditation, try and see that perhaps what we think is this I might be a fabrication, and maybe didn't ever exist in the first place. But then we can't throw out too much. We definitely do exist. There is this conventional interdependent self that experiences happiness and suffering, and that works and studies and sleeps and eats and meditates and becomes enlightened. So we have to sort of distinguish between reality and fabrication. Sometimes we can't tell them apart. So when we're concentrating in our meditation, it is possible to see the difference, to recognize this kind of fantasy I, and eradicate our long habituated belief in it. And so the meditation we're doing today is sort of a bit of a practical step in that direction. And as an extreme example, people who live in fantasy. So, they think that they're going to sort of hit the jackpot and they fully believe it. And you can tell from their behavior and from their past life and that it's probably not going to happen for them. But they're living a kind of a dream. And most of us are living some kind of dream, but maybe not that extreme. So have this attitude of maybe a curiosity, maybe like a spy, a bit of a stealth. Just slowly and carefully become aware of your I. So, who or what is it that thinks, feels, and meditates? How does it appear to you? Is your I a creation of your mind? Or is it something that exists concretely and independently in its own right? Now try and locate your I. Where is it? Does your I belong in your head? Is it in your head? Is it in your eyes or in your heart? Maybe it's in your hands, in your stomach or your feet. And carefully consider each part of your body, including your organs, your blood vessels, and your nerves. Can you find your I? It might be very small and subtle, perhaps tiny, tiny. So consider cells, atoms, subatomic particles. Perhaps the I is there. So if you do think your I is part of your body, then what happens if that part were to be removed in an operation? Like if you think your I is in your appendix and you have your appendix out. Or if it was damaged in an accident. Perhaps your eye is in your big toe and you break your big toe. Is your eye broken? And what happens to the eye when your body ceases to function at death? Perhaps you think your mind is the eye. The mind is a constantly changing stream of thoughts, feelings, and other experiences, coming and going, kind of rapidly moving, almost like a train station. It's never the same from one moment to the next. So which of these experiences is the I? Is it a loving thought? An angry thought? A happy feeling? A depressed feeling? So if you think that your I is one of these experiences, then what happens when that kind of experience is not present in your mind? If your I is, for example, love, then when your mind is filled only with anger, does the I go somewhere else? Or does it disappear altogether? Is there no I at that time? Maybe you have many I's. An angry one, a loving one, a frightened one, an anxious one, a silly one. If you can't find your I in your body or your mind, maybe could it possibly be something else? Maybe there's an extra part of you that other than your body and your mind. So after all, we say my body and my mind, implying the existence of something else that owns these two. So if so, where is it? Where is that found? And what kind of phenomenon is it? So examine all these different possibilities. Perhaps as you're searching for your I, it might start to feel a little bit like chasing a rainbow. You feel like you're getting close and then it sort of moves further away. So have a look at the way your I actually appears to you, how it feels to you. after this search for the I, do you notice any change? Do you still believe that it is as solid and real as you felt before? Does it still appear to exist independently in and of itself? Now imagine your body mentally disintegrated. Imagine all the atoms separating and floating apart. Billions and billions of minute particles scattering throughout space. Imagine you can see this, just watching your body disintegrating, separating, scattering through space. Now disintegrate your mind. Let every thought, feeling, sensation, and perception float away. And check your feeling of I. Where is it? What is it? So try not to make the mistake of thinking, well, my body is not the I, and my mind is not the I, therefore I don't exist. Well, you do exist, but just not the way you instinctively feel, as this something independent and inherent. Conventionally, yourself exists in dependence upon mind and body. And this combination is the basis on which conceptual thinking ascribes the name I or self. Or Mary or Katie or Lou or Coral or John. And this is the you that is sitting and meditating and wondering, do I exist? So whatever exists necessarily is dependent upon causes and conditions or parts or names. So think about your car or your bike if you have a vehicle. So a car is a collection of pieces of steel and glass and plastic and rubber, a battery, an engine, and it's designed by a car designer employed by a company like Toyota. And it's put together by people in a factory. And then we give it the name car. Yes, but if you look for a real, concrete, independently existing car, it's not there. Because many, many things had to come together for that car to end up in your driveway. That independently existing cars doesn't exist. It's a fantasy. So conventionally things exist dependently, and understanding dependence is the principal cause for understanding the ultimate nature, emptiness. So you've heard that term, dependent arising. So the conventional nature of an object is its dependence upon other things, and its ultimate nature is its emptiness of inherent independent existence. So when I lived when Judith and I were living together in her house in San Anselmo, she has had a beautiful kind of kitchen table that we've all been using for over 20 years. And I couldn't bear to let that table go. So we packed it up, wrapped it in a sheet, wrapped it in plastic, pulled the legs off and folded them all in. So it no longer looks like a table. It looks like a piece of furniture that's been wrapped up and put into storage. So where is that table now? It doesn't function as a table anymore. It may function as a table in the future. But that table is made up of different parts and screws and legs. So think now about how your body exists conventionally, independence upon your skin and blood and bones and legs and arms and organs. And in turn, each of these parts of your body exist independence upon their own parts, their own, cells and atoms and subatomic particles. And all this needs to be working in order for you to be functioning. I think about how your mind, how it exists in dependence upon thoughts, feelings and perceptions and sensations. And then how in turn each of these exists in dependence upon the previous conscious experiences that gave rise to it. Now go back to your feeling of self or I. And just think for a moment about how you exist conventionally, independence upon your mind and body and name. The self's parts. When the body feels hungry or cold, for example, you think, I am hungry, I am cold. When the mind has an idea about something, you think, oh, I think this. I've got this idea. When you feel love for someone, you say, I love you. When you're introducing yourself, you say, I am so and so. I am Katy. Apart from this sense of I that depends on the ever flowing and ever changing streams of body and mind, is there an I that is solid and unchanging and independent? So the mere absence of such an inherently existing concrete I is the emptiness of the self. So as we close the session, have a conclusion as to how you yourself exists. So you can conclude by dedicating sincerely any positive energy or insights you've maybe gained, and just dedicate that to the enlightenment of all beings, including yourself. And this meditation we've done today is just one step, one tiny little step on finally achieving direct insight into emptiness. And they say once you've done that, you can cut the root of suffering, cut the root of dissatisfaction. Okay, everyone, just relax. Hope you enjoyed that. A lot of food for thought there. And thank you, Mary, for hosting. Lots of love, everybody. I will see some of you later today through our sister center in San Francisco at Seichen Ling, 6 o'clock Pacific time. I'm leading a 1 hour meditation there. So it's pretty similar to what we're doing here, just a bit longer. And we do more things. So you're very welcome to come along. And I look forward to seeing you otherwise at Vajrasattva tonight.